G'day guys, Seeney here and welcome to another episode on the Australian Wealth channel, and in this episode we're going to be doing an update of the Australian housing market for January 2022. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps to get these videos out to more people. So we are off to a flying start here in January. It's been very interesting to see some of the results that have just come out from CoreLogic. They've been collecting the data to see what's been happening in the housing market. And at this point, it's a great start to the year. But what we're seeing is we're starting to see a bit of a divergence. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that and what this means going forward for property and what you should potentially do with your money if you're looking at investing in real estate. So please make sure you like and subscribe. So we're going to start with the big winners this month because it's starting to become clear that there's a bit of a two-tier speed in terms of property growth around the country. Now, the absolute number one winner this month for property growth is, of course, Brisbane. Now, Brisbane has appreciated 2.5% this month. That is huge. That is a massive amount, and we're seeing such strong growth continue in Brisbane. Now, there's so many different reasons why this is continuing to happen in Brisbane particularly. There's a lot of people that are leaving Melbourne and leaving Sydney and have actually moved to Brisbane. There's a lot of migration up that way in not only Brisbane, but the Gold Coast in that region in particular. Now, there's a number of reasons why people are doing this. It's much more affordable. There's I guess you could say, a bit more equitable climate. It's a little bit warmer. Some people really like that. And of course, the dreaded C word has been a little bit less prevalent up in Queensland until now, but there's still a lot of factors that are continuing to drive this growth. I personally know a lot of people that are leaving Sydney and are heading up to buy property in Brisbane and potentially live up there purely because it is so much more affordable compared to Sydney and Melbourne. So 2.5% in Brisbane, great growth, and just behind it is Adelaide at 2.4%. Now, this is also a fantastic figure because I have a property under contract in Adelaide at the moment that is getting constructed soon. So I'm really happy with those figures in terms of growth. So Brisbane and Adelaide have been by far the best performers this month by a long way. So as I mentioned, we're going to start to see a little bit of divergence, which I'm going to get into now. So before I do that, Canberra has also performed phenomenally this month as well, up 1.8%. So still very hot, not quite as hot as Brisbane and Adelaide, but still performing incredibly well. And now we're going to get to some of the bigger capital cities. Now, the first one is, of course, Sydney that I'm going to talk about. Now, Sydney is up 0.6% this month. So certainly going up, good growth, but not the insane amounts that we're seeing in some of the smaller, more regional capital cities. I personally think that they have a lot more room to run. Whereas Sydney, it looks like we're starting to hit a little bit of an affordability cap. Now, the situation in Melbourne is basically the same. This month we had price growth of 0.5%. So it's still pretty decent. Units actually went down in Melbourne this month. So it's actually housing that's creating all of that growth in Melbourne. Housing has outperformed units by a lot this last couple of years. So if you're in housing, then that looks like it's been the place to be recently. So Perth has also not done as well as some of the other capital cities. Perth is also up 0.6%. So nationally, if we look at Australia-wide, we're seeing property growth this month of 1.1%. So it's still pretty strong growth. And personally, I think it's going to continue through this year, and we might see some weakening at the end of the year. However, having said that, I do not believe that's going to be the case for Brisbane and Adelaide, some of those smaller capital cities, because the affordability constraints are just not there to the extent that they are in Sydney and Melbourne. Property, no doubt, in Sydney and Melbourne, by global standards, is very expensive. So obviously that's going to start to tap out a lot of buyers. And of course, with interest rates potentially coming up soon, some banks have already started to lift their interest rates. That's going to create a little bit more of a squeeze on people that they might not be able to afford as much as they want to going forward. So on top of that, we also have APRA tightening lending standards. And if we continue to see crazy growth, that's going to be tightened even further. Having said that though, there's a lot of demand for properties in Brisbane. There's not much supply. So I think at this point, Brisbane's going to continue to perform really well. I think Adelaide's going to continue to perform really well as well. That's where I'm purchasing my investment properties at the moment. I actually have 2 under contract at the moment. So looking forward to seeing them completely go through, but it's just been an amazing time for real estate in Australia. So I'd like to know your thoughts. What do you think is going to happen in the housing market? Because we all know that, the market is not just one big thing. It's city specific, it's suburb specific. What do you think is going to happen in different capital cities? I'd be really keen to hear your thoughts. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel. It really helps to get these videos out to more people. If you'd like to get yourself a free stock, I have a link to Stake in the description. And if you'd like to track your net worth, I also have a link to WeMoney in the description. I'll give you $5 just for signing up and connecting some of your accounts. So I'm really excited for the growth of property here in Australia over the next few years. I'm actually going to be paying down some of the debt going forward, because as interest rates rise, I want to make sure that I'm less exposed to that. So I'll be paying down some of that debt and looking at purchasing a little bit further on. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe. We'll see you later.